point lead right now. So by the like I said, defense. This defense is immaculate. They are playing excellent defense right now. The Toronto Raptors shooting 41% from the field and 10% from the three-point line, whereas the Chicago Bulls right now are shooting 35% from the field and 23% from three-point range overall. But the Bulls are just executing better in this game, right? The Chicago Bulls with 6 offensive rebounds in this game. They are being out-rebounded only by 1. We also have 13 points off turnovers in this game so far due to the Chicago Bulls. And so, they're losing by points in the paint, things like that. But listen, the Chicago Bulls, 11 second chance points to 6 for the Toronto Raptors. This is a game where the Bulls defense and the bench, when Torrey Craig, Alex Caruso, and Kobe White out there, man, playing really solid in that as well. Javon Carter also. That defense is on point. Right now, we have Alex Caruso has a plus minus of plus 17 when he's out there on the court. That's the highest on the team by far, and he's only scored 4 points. And the Bulls are spreading it out right now, right? So not any player with a huge amount of points. You got Patrick Williams with 3. He also has 3 rebounds already in this game. DeMar with 7, Vooch with 4, Kobe White with 9, Zach with 4, and then you have a bunch of Io with 4 off the bench, Alex Caruso with 4 off the bench, Andre Drummond with 4 off the bench, and Torrey Craig with 3 off the bench. The Bulls are just spreading out the scoring right now, and that is what's been making them a dangerous attack. Haven't been shooting the ball well. They're 16 of 45 from the field. They also are 4 from 17 from three-point range, but the Toronto Raptors are 2 from 19 from three-point range. So the Bulls are just taking advantage right now of the Toronto Raptors not shooting the ball well either. But the defense specifically, this defense from the Bulls has been on point most of the night, and I got to give them credit for that. Got to give them credit for the way they're going out there and competing on the defensive side of the ball. Kobe White getting 2 charges, I think, already in this game so far, drawing those offensive fouls from the other team, just playing extremely well. Shay said this is the type of shit that really pisses me off because your team can actually do this every single night if they wanted to. They just don't for some reason. Let's see what else we got in here. We're in the end game now. Says defense looking solid, extremely solid. Definitely agree with you on that one. Didn't want to say nothing because it's always something that goes wrong when we're looking good. Patch, I completely agree with you on that one, right, bro? Hokage says Billy with those horrible subs again. I mean, listen, he subbed P. Will out after P. Will was being active on the boards and hit a 3. Like, it's things like that. But I will say, bringing in the bench unit when he did really help change the outlook of this game. The Chicago Bulls were down by 12 points in this game, went on a 20-0 run to take the lead, and then came out of the second quarter and went on a 14-0 run, right? So, the Bulls are doing some things positive out there, but, especially with the rotations, there are some things to point to that are looking good out there, but Billy Donovan's going Billy, and that just is what it is at this point in time. Tax season says decent rotation for Billy. It's okay, right? This team can't hold on to leads for shit. Hey, listen, man, it is what it is. Keith Domis says, boy, the shooting is horrible tonight. Both teams are shooting the ball like absolute dog shit. So it is what it is there, man. Shitty says, gotta close the half out better. Last couple of minutes were ugly. Completely agree with you on that, bro. Completely agree with you. Caruso says, what the hell is Billy doing? Can't call a timeout. You can tell right away the Raptors were building momentum. Listen, Billy Donovan doesn't call a timeout. He doesn't really challenge things. It's unfortunate. Why is Caruso not getting more minutes? Dude barely played in the second. Let's take a look at that, right? I have the breakdown by quarter. Let's take a look at what Caruso played in the second quarter. So Caruso played 4 minutes in the second quarter. In the first quarter, Caruso played 6 minutes. And I mean, listen, 10 minutes and a half for a bench player isn't bad. Let's be clear there. He's on pace to get over 20 minutes. That's not bad. It's not bad. But I definitely get what you're saying with that, though. Little worried now about the start of the second half. I mean, listen, you are very valid in doing that. The Chicago Bulls team comes out as halves flat sometimes. So we'll see. That 40-2 run had me excited. But then, of course, we took our foot off their throat. And, man, Io is fast, gets to the bucket like that. Listen, I said it. Right now, the best scorer we have off the bench is Ayo Dosunmu. If you go back and look at how he scored in college, the fact when he's playing downhill, this defense gets turnovers, gets defensive rebounds, gets out in transition. He's the best scorer, again, coming off the bench because we just don't have a big-time scorer off the bench. And it's good to see Ayo really take advantage of his new role and really making it work for himself. Rondo 2 Raw says, watching them play defense, I want to cry, bro. No way this is my Bulls. Listen, bro, they are playing excellent defense right now. Excellent defense. I've seen enough. Give Torrey Craig the max. That's hilarious, bro. That is funny. The 3Cs are a dangerous lineup. Absolutely. And that is why having the people who are like, oh, the Bulls, they went and got career backups. Well, having players that understand their role and that thrive in that role, right? It makes things, especially when you have big time ball dominant players like DeMar and Zach, it helps more than what you think it would on paper. And it's showing itself this game. Let's hope that it continues in the second half, right? We don't want to act like we got this in the bag yet, but their worth and their value for this team, I'm glad that it's showing up in this game because I think people really don't understand. It's high time to start Craig. I mean, listen, I know that momentum is going to get going on that. I know there are going to be a lot of Bulls fans asking for that, but P. Will has had a solid half. He's been active out there. Torrey Craig has played more minutes than him. He's played 12 minutes. So it is what it is there. They both scored 3 points. But Patrick Williams, again, 1 for 4 from 3-point range in this game. You got to make those threes better, bro. You got to make those threes better. Ali Fout in the building says, hey, Haize, I love the shirt. Thank you, bro. You know, one thing you can get from 2 things you're always going to get from me on this channel, grade A content and grade A drip. That's what it is. You're definitely going to get those things. How much bigger would the lead be with DR? That's funny. DR's out there today, right? Didn't they say she was out there? 6266 Jamal says, what guys, I want to apologize for the first few minutes of the game. I was watching the Raptors broadcast. Once I switched to Stacey and Adam, we started making a run. Shout out to Jamal on that one, man. Let's see. Amid says, yeah, Kobe, Zach, DeMar, Nikola together doesn't mesh, it seems. I don't know, man. I think that to me, it can. I don't want to zero in anybody, right? But I think there are 4 players in that starting lineup that play, even Vooch plays well in a quicker paced offense. There's one that doesn't. I'm gonna let you guys figure that out. Tate Hollins in the building says Zach needs to sit and let them cook. He's not playing well. I mean, it's not like last game, but yeah, being 1 for 6 right now is a problem. I mean, so far in first halves of the game, Zach LaVine is 1 for. He started off 0-5 last game, so it would be 1 for 11. Zach LaVine is in first half of games, and this is supposed to be the Zach that you came into the season fully healthy. So we need Zach to get going for sure. I was playing like he deserves minutes, consistent for the minutes he's played the first 2 games, in my opinion. Completely agree with you on that one, Jack. Completely agree with you. Brazil Popular says Caruso deserves the point guard position. No, I think Caruso's good at where he's at. Caruso isn't that type of a point guard. Caruso isn't even necessarily a point guard, so to say. He's a guard that can play point, can play shooting guard, but I like Caruso as that change of pace guard coming off the bench. I do. I don't think it'd be the same with him being in the starting lineup. C-Red UK, my brother says Kobe and Zach need to be staggered more. Kobe's so much better without Zach. I mean, listen, that's one of the reasons I did in the offseason. I was saying, hey, let Kobe come off the bench. Now, I do think Kobe's pretty good in his role, but because Kobe's better with the ball in his hands. He's better when he's kind of allowed to really run and kind of dictate things, pace and things like that, even when he's not necessarily shooting. So I think the subs were good. Zach just pooped himself. DeMar getting a little too forceful for my liking at times from Jonathan Aegis. Completely agree. This team is for this team to be successful, the high volume isolations has to stop. And so that means LaVine is going to have to do more catch and shoots. That means DeMar's going to have to learn how to pick his spots, do more facilitating. Let's see. Haize, you were right. Kobe, it looks good defensively. Kobe White, I'm telling you guys, it isn't going to always show up on the stat sheet, but Kobe White is so much more of an intelligent defender than what he was when he came in the league. Like it's really night and day to a certain degree. Immortal Beast 416 says, yo, Haize, I was watching the game, and so far I'm loving the hustle from the Bulls in the first half, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Completely agree with you, bro. Completely agree with you. Brian says, DeMar and Zach a little cold, or am I tweaking? No, you are not tweaking at all, bro. Not tweaking at all. Rodney Groom says, hey, what's going on? I don't remember seeing your name before. So if this is your first time in the building, thank you for joining. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well, as we will be giving you the best Chicago Bulls content all throughout the season and off season. We have been daily. I have dropped over 800 days of constant content. I haven't stopped. 800. Imagine just doing the same thing for 800 days straight, right? You even get a break from your job. I don't do that, right? It's every day for me. Every day I do this. Let's talk Bulls says Vooch is definitely getting more touches, should shoot better in the second half. I agree with, let's hope, right? I said that in the second half of the last game. I was like, hey, listen, the Bulls are right there, right? There's no way they can shoot this way again in another half. So I gotta temper those expectations. So we'll see. Let's see. Ali Fout says, grateful for the 800 days of content, bro. I appreciate that, man. I really do appreciate that. It just comes from just love of this team, love talking Bulls, man. It's like, even during the off season, I never took a day off. And you guys, you can attest to it, for the ones that were here even during the off season. I never feel like the content stagnated. I never did episodes just to do one where I'm like, I really ain't got shit to talk about. It was always a good angle, always a good conversation. And so, hey, I love doing it, man. Love doing it. Chi-Town Sports says, didn't get to watch the first half. How are we looking? Defensively amazing. We're shooting the ball like shit, but right now both teams are shooting the ball like absolute shit. So the Bulls are being able to take care of it. So let's see. Sydney says, the Raptors making a run is making me a little nervous. What about you, Haize? The Bulls are playing well so far. Definitely playing well as far as the defense. They're not shooting the ball well at all. Am I nervous that the Toronto Raptors got on the run? Yeah, because this is atypical of the Chicago Bulls. Get out to a big lead. We had an 18 or 19-point lead at one point in time. It's down to 7 now. So, it's definitely concerning. Hopefully the Bulls come out. The thing that makes me a little bit less concerned is how we got the lead. It wasn't just because, we shot the ball crazy, because, listen, we're shooting the ball for the game right now, 35%. The reason why the Bulls were able to build that lead is their defense. And that's what makes me a little bit more confident in this lead, is the defense. Jack Holland says, my life was lost without Haize live streams and Bulls basketball. Now I can finally sleep peacefully. That is hilarious, fam. That's funny. I appreciate you, bro. Definitely appreciate you. Black Prophet in the building says, I think the next 15 games, Torrey Craig will push P. Will to the bench. He's so much better defensively and hustles all the time. I don't know if Torrey Craig's necessarily better defensively. I will say Torrey Craig is just a consistent guy. He always does something to where you see his impact. P. Will sometimes, as a defender, is always a solid defender, but he doesn't always do the things that, unless you're necessarily looking at him to see what he's doing, that you always notice what he's doing defensively. The difference about Torrey Craig is he rotates well. The weak side defense is amazing. The help defense is amazing. You just always tend to see Torrey Craig's number in somebody's face. And so, yeah, it's great to see him do that. Once they opened 42 on 23, they should have slowed down the pace and let the clock run. Take times finding right shot. They kept fast pace and lost it. Well, it's also because they can't shoot well, right? So I think, they're trying to keep the pace because it gets easy buckets at the rim. If that's just me trying to come up with the reason why, I'm not saying that you're wrong for your evaluation there. I think you always want to slow it down a little bit. But the game is back on, guys. I'll be back here post game for the live post game show. Make sure you guys are back for that. Love you guys. Go Bulls. See red. Let's give the Bulls this energy in the second half. Let's go ahead and close this out. Let's try to get a bit. Oh, before we do, got a super chat. Always want to pay off from Dan Miles. Says, hot take: if Derrick Rose never left Memphis and got drafted by the Grizzlies, could Zebo, Tony Allen, Marcus Gasol, and AC won the trip? Remember, I don't give a fuck about Memphis. Probably, though. Probably. But all right, y'all. I'll see. Go Bulls. See red. All that stuff. I'll see you guys right here post game show.